Hello everyone, my name is Joshua. This is the 147th video on my video journal series. Today's date is Sunday, the 5th of July, 2026. How's everyone been? I've been pretty good, thank you. And today I went to the Sydney Bus Museum. And I know it sounds riveting, but I'm a big fan of public transport, and I finally found some time to actually go to the museum, which is located in Leichhardt, an inner city suburb of Sydney, and they're only open twice a month, hence why I always found it difficult for my schedule to align with my visit to the bus museum. But I finally found some time to go there today, and I got to ride a old Sydney double-decker bus from Leichhardt to Town Hall, and it was a delight being able to ride in a vintage double-decker bus from, I believe, like the late 40s or early 50s. And I even got to go inside a London Routemaster bus, which has always been a lifelong dream of mine, but obviously it was on static display, it wasn't moving. I do know that they sometimes take out an old Routemaster on like special events and all that. So I was like 50% of the way there, because one of my lifelong dreams is to be able to ride in a London Routemaster bus. I was able to like obviously go in one and take photos, but it was on a static display. But yeah, first time at the bus museum, and it was a very good experience. I actually took a lot of photos and videos. I believe 100 photos and videos in total, because I uploaded them to my computer, and I do plan to upload some of that material online to my blogger page, which I've already done, and to my YouTube channel, obviously. But yeah, it was a great time. I got to go inside the exhibition hall, see all their old single and double decker buses. They got like a very large collection, and they even have like some buses from like overseas, like Hong Kong and obviously London, UK, and I don't know if they got any American buses, but they have you know a lot of buses from obviously Sydney, even coaches and all that. And it was a very nice um, museum, and I highly recommend if you live in Sydney to at least go to the Sydney Bus Museum or Tramway Museum in Loftus. They're very good and informative museums, and you actually get to ride on old vehicles, which I've always found fun. Everyone was looking around when I was riding in the double decker bus, because it's not something that you see every day, let alone an old one where it's like green and gold on the outside. Um, and yeah, like I was there for a few hours. I took a couple of trips, and eventually I took the bus from Leichhardt to Town Hall, and then caught the train from you know Town Hall home, and yeah, like it was a nice day out. Obviously, it was a little bit cloudy today in the city, but it only started raining when I left, which is, I guess, better than me going there and it raining, because I'm not very much of a rain person, unless I'm like indoors. When you're outdoors, rain's like a nuisance, but when you're indoors, it kind of adds to the aesthetic. um, and yeah, is there anything else I want to say about the bus museum? Not really. They have a very good gift shop. I didn't buy anything from the gift shop, unfortunately, because I got to save some money. But yeah, it's a very you know very nice place to visit. It's right next to Leichhardt North Light Rail stop, and obviously there's a few bus routes that go into the area, so it's quite accessible by public transport. And they're open the first and third Sunday of every month. So yeah, the first and third Sunday, July 5th is the first Sunday of, well, July 2026, and I think the next time they're gonna be open is in 2 weeks' time. Um, So yeah, yet again, if you live around the area, highly recommend you go visit there. And yeah, I just I that's just my experience at the Sydney Bus Museum, and I know there's a few other museums in and around Sydney. There's the one in the Blue Mountains. I forgot its name, but I've been planning on going there. Um, I'm, well, obviously, I have plans to go there in the future. And there's the old zigzag railway in the Blue Mountains also. I'm pretty sure it's the last zigzag railway in the world. That is trains, like, because obviously the railway's on like a mountain, and the trains basically go up like this, and then they like reverse and go up like that, sort of like in a zigzag pattern. It doesn't go like a full lap around the mountain. Instead, it just goes like up, reverse. Hence why it's called the zigzag. And I've been meaning to go to the zigzag railway for a long time. But obviously, I guess like time's a major constraint. And obviously now I have some free time on my hands. I still got the rest of July off, so maybe I'll plan a trip to the Blue Mountains on the Zigzag Railway. And there's a few other railway journeys I've been meaning to do. I was even thinking of like going all the way to Newcastle, or maybe just like in one day going from like Newcastle to like Bomaderry, which is like man, that'll be like a full day thing. That'll be like an insane journey if I were to do that. I was thinking of like even doing from Central to like Bathurst again, because there was a excuse me there was like a train event in Bathurst. I'm pretty sure it was like they were hosting some steam train rides along a disused railway line near Bathurst. I really wanted to go to that, but yet again, time. I guess like distance as well. And yeah, there's like obviously a lot of heritage events that I've been keeping my eye out on. Um, and whenever one pops up, and if it's like in a city or somewhere where I can easily, um, I guess, go to via public transport, I'll go there. Um, Apart from yeah, the last heritage event I've been to was that 100 years of electric railways event, which was I think back in March on a Red Rattler from Central to I think it was Oatley, or yeah, I think it was Oatley station. And yeah, that was a nice heritage event. I got to ride on a Red Rattler, more specifically F1. And obviously, yeah, I've been looking at, I guess, all sorts of transport heritage events, just not just trains, I guess, but also buses and trams. And um, there's a few that's good. There's a few that's um, been planned for later this year. And obviously, if I have time to go to those events, I certainly will. And yeah, I think that's all the I guess transport talk that I'm gonna do today. So I can most probably close that book. Um, and yeah, also today, um, I randomly got reminded of this. It's the I guess second year anniversary of Keir Starmer's premiership in the UK. And which is kind of like ironic because now he's about to well, he's pretty much about to hand over the leadership to I think it is Andy Burnham. Yeah, because Keir Starmer announced his resignation as British Prime Minister not too long ago. So yeah, he was only in for around 2 years, and obviously marks July 5th, 2026. I should add, marks 2 years um, since the 2024 UK general election. where he was, I guess, like elected as prime minister. And yeah, like the UK have been through a lot of prime ministers over this last decade alone. And as an Australian, I understand we also went through a tumultuous year. Oh, sorry, not year. Tumultuous decade of like prime ministers. We had like I'm not gonna go through all of them in my head right now, but yeah, we had a lot of prime ministers come into office and go out of office for varying reasons, but yeah, and you know, um, I guess also I forgot to mention this yesterday, but yesterday, July 4th, 2026, marked 250 years of the United States as a country. And obviously, there's been a lot of celebrations within the United States uh, for reaching 250. And obviously, I didn't talk about it yesterday because obviously that would have been July 4th, Australia time. Um, but now I guess once that video, or like a few hours after that video was uploaded, for most Americans, it would have been just July 4th. So yeah, when that video was uploaded, I guess most of America would have been July 3rd. It's one of the things where if you live in Australia and you have like relatives living in America, you're like a day ahead of most Americans, and so that's why whenever it's like July 4th in Australia, you don't hear much news about it, but the next day you hear the immense backlog of news when you're like sleeping because currently right now when it's dark out here in Australia, it's daytime in some parts of the US. So yeah, there's that like I guess delay in news because of that time gap. Um, but yeah, obviously 250 years since the US was founded, and I haven't really been keeping up much with the news regarding all of the celebrations and all of that. Really, I've been trying to get back into like reading the news because obviously there's a lot happening around the world, and I feel like I need to be informed with what's going on. And things change so quickly nowadays. Um, so like my knowledge is constantly like I guess being rendered um, not like redundant or anything like that. It's just you know my knowledge is sort of like outdated, right? When it comes to current global affairs, because yet again everything's changing, and yeah, I've been. This seems like an ad segment, right? Now, let me introduce you to today's sponsor. No, this series will never be sponsored. Um, you know, I don't get paid for any quote unquote endorsements. I obviously said, go and visit the Sydney Bus Museum, but I'm not endorsed by them whatsoever. I just, it's just my own opinion, my own take, my own review. Um, but yeah, so obviously I've been trying to keep up with the news, and yeah, man, today was a very rainy Sunday. I have to say so myself. And today, obviously, tomorrow will be Monday, fresh new start of the week, and I have really, I guess, nothing much planned. I always say that, but then things pop up, and then I'm suddenly busy all over again. And obviously, I've been trying to, like, I guess, reorganize my entire room. My room's currently right now a mess. And, I've been trying to, I guess, get everything in place. Um, just in terms of, like, I guess, filing, putting my important documents in secure locations and not just, like, scattered across the room. Because I swear it's like, I want to look for like one small thing in my room, and like I swear, like a few days ago, I saw this like very small thing that I need, but then I spent like 20 minutes trying to search for it. Like where's this? Like you never know when you need something unless you like let me rephrase. Sorry, you never know you need something until you need it, and that might sound stupid me saying that, but something as simple as tape, all right? Like sticky tape, right? You never think in your brain, all right, I need to grab sticky tape at like the supermarket or retail store, or whatever. But then when you need it, you're like, oh, sticky tape. I should have plenty. But then you look around your house and you're like, oh crap, I don't have any sticky tape. Because sticky tape is never on your mind when it comes to things that you need. So yeah, you don't really think you need something until you really, really need it, or at least you it pops into your brain and you're like, oh crap, I actually don't have this in my possession right now. I need to, go out to the store and buy it. And that's happened to me a lot of times, especially these last couple of days. And um, you go to the store and you end up forgetting what you needed to buy. You just buy like a bunch of other like useless stuff, and then you're like, "Oh, I came into the store to buy this," and now I've got all of these things in my hands. I've been meaning to buy um, like a micro SD card to USB adapter because I take a lot of photos and videos off of my Canon camera, and obviously the only way to transfer all that content from the camera to my PC is to plug in the camera into the PC when I can just um, take out the SD card and using an adapter, which I don't have at the moment, to put it into my PC, which will be a lot easier. And every time I'm out in the city, I always like make it my goal. All right, I'm gonna buy that. I'm gonna buy that mini dongle. But then I never do because every time I'm in the city, I somehow forget that electronic stores nearby, and I don't have myself like an electronic stores nearby, and I'm like, all right, well, uh, is there anything I need? Not that I can remember. And then I go home and I'm like, oh crap, I need to buy that adapter. I swear I should write it on my like hand or whatever. I should write it down in my schedule. Buy a USB to SD card adapter. I also need like a mini dongle that goes into my monitor, and it's like a splitter, right? A splitter. Dongle that goes into your PC's monitor. Um, you plug in like a HDMI cord, and it splits out like two separate HDMI ports because I only have two HDMI ports in my computer monitor, but I have three HDMI cables. One for my computer, obviously, one for my Nintendo Switch, and one for my Blu-ray player. So if I want to plug in my Blu-ray player, I gotta plug out the Switch cord. If I want to plug in my Switch, I gotta plug out the Blu-ray player cord. So yeah, I need like a splitter, right? Where I can just have enough ports to plug into my monitor. So yeah, I guess that's like my sort of life update. There's two very important things which I need, but I'm too lazy to write it down in my schedule, write it down on the palm of my hand. Um, you know, um, but yet again, though, I know people in life who are like are more, I guess, who procrastinate much more than I do. People have been holding off things for years and years and years because they simply just don't get around to it, or they don't have enough time, or when they do have time, they're like, oh, I'll just leave this for later. um, to some extent, that's like my video journal series. Like sometimes I just put like a temporary title, and then I'll say, oh, I'll just change this later, but then later never comes, or I just do it extremely late. So obviously I've been trying to like overcome that, and yeah. And what else do I want to talk about? Is there any books I want to close? I can most probably close that book about those dongles and me forgetting to get those dongles. I can most probably close that book, and yeah, that's pretty much it. um Yet again, though, I have really nothing, I guess, planned for the rest of July, but oh yes, the World Cup. I remember now. The World Cup. Australia lost against Egypt. That was a few days ago, but I just got reminded of it. And obviously, I only watched like one World Cup match. That was between Australia and Turkey. I haven't watched any other World Cup matches. I haven't really been keeping in touch with the World Cup, really. Um, I guess with like sports in general, I occasionally turn on to see, who's battling who in the NRL. But yeah, well, as a guy who like obviously doesn't read the news every single day, what's going to keep me, from you know watching sports every single day? But yeah. So I guess today was a pretty good day. Yet again, I went to the Sydney Bus Museum. Very lovely museum. Very lovely staff and drivers. And yeah, I'm always excited when a new month comes around. Honestly, it's a fresh new month. Um, and I guess like every day is like a fresh new start. And obviously, oh yeah, my end of year overseas trip. I've been planning more of that. Obviously, airfares right now are quite expensive. They've like doubled uh, since like 2024 or 2025. They've just gone like absolutely through the roof. And I know I'm traveling like end of year where it's like a lot of demand, but even then, I swear, the same airfare that I want to get um, back in 2024 or back a few years ago when I looked at it was roughly like half the price, but now it seems like it's like doubled. And obviously, who knows when airfares will come down? I've been just trying to look where the next I guess sale is. But yet again, though, it's not really I guess much about the money because well, when you're on holidays, you just spend a lot of money anyway. A lot of money anyway. Um, and obviously, have enough time, money, resources for an end of year trip. Um, and so why not do it? And obviously, my mum, she said to me that once you get like a full time job, once you exit, um, I guess the once you I guess enter in your early 20s or whenever you get like a full time job, full time responsibilities, you won't be able to travel as much as you would like to. So that's why I've been, I guess, going out a lot more often whenever I can, especially now since I'm unemployed. I've been just trying to do all the things that I want to do before I get full time employment. Because obviously, travel when you're young, do all the things, active things when you're young, because when you're older, your body breaks down, you want to be able to have enough time. Obviously, you would have a lot more, I guess, money to do things, but I guess time, is a major constraint, and also your physical abilities as well, because I've heard that your body just starts like maybe my older viewers could contest to this. I heard it just starts breaking down like when you're like 50. At least that's what I observed from my parents. They're not, I guess not keen travelers anymore, but they've always told me once you hit 50, all those poor decisions you made in your 20s, eating all that junk food and all that will catch up to you. And obviously, I'm going to take the word for it. Eat healthy when you're young, but yeah, obviously that's why I'm planning on you know um, traveling as much as I can and exploring and attending all these transport heritage events before I hit the age of 50, which is come to think about it, that's only 30 years away. Once this video journal series ends, I'll be 39 years old, 1 month away from 40. So I'll be getting there in age. And obviously, I've been thinking a lot about just time, really. Um, you know, that's why I've been really, I guess, obsessed with recently, just time. Um, just what life will be like in 20 years' time, and life seems to be getting faster and faster for me every, single day. So, who knows what the next, I guess, 5, 10, 15, 20 years will look like. How fast they'll be for me. But anyway, I guess that's enough talk. I know this seems like a very complex video. I started talking about vintage buses, and then I went to the World Cup and all that. Then I went to just the concept of time, really. But that's just what I think on a daily basis. But anyway, obviously, I'm still waiting for that. One last thing, I am still waiting for my new tripod. Currently, right now, I'm using my old one, but my new one should be able to come. My new one um, should arrive in a few days' time, so I'm excited for that. Um, but yeah, that's all the news I have for you. And yet again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all tomorrow. Bye, see you, take care. Have a great one.